This is a program today that is going to be online, fully in English for all the attendees that want to join today. But I wanted to say hi, welcome to all our attendees from the bioregion of Catalonia. So going forward on that subject, I would like to highlight that we have some of the members of this consortium probably connecting today, because this is a first pilot in Barcelona, but this is going also to be a program that is going to take place in the next years in other regions of the project. Again, this is the major data about PRECISEU, but we wanted also to highlight that this is a program, it's a project that wants to have also an advocacy and a policy lens in place to highlight some frameworks, some evidences and guidance to help to be implemented into tools that are actually at the end of the day going to be implemented by other regions and also by the Commission if necessary. This is built to channel all our outputs, everything that we create from the project, ATMP access recommendations, etc., to make actually personalized medicine closer to the patient. And this is very much what we talk about today, the way to accelerate innovation and to see policy frameworks and regulatory frameworks as enablers for this innovation to reach the goals. And this is very much also about impact. Like I said at the beginning, in the welcome to all the attendees today, PRECISEU is a regional innovation valley. This is a leading one because, like I said, it was highlighted as a success story in the report that ASMEA, the funding agency, published a few days ago on the outcomes of the program, European Innovation Ecosystems, from 2021 to 2025, and this is the one that has been highlighted, and BioCat actually is leading the ranking in Spain of entities leading EIE projects. But I also like to mention that early in 2025, we had a meeting in Brussels, and one consultancy, Mind the Bridge, created this slide for us. These are the 5 regional innovation valleys in Europe. It's just like a call that was launched, and that was very, very unique in the outcome. 5 were funded. And what is relevant here is that PRECISEU as a collective effort and consortium was leading the number of scale-ups, adding the different regions together. And that is really the value of collaboration and how this and why this project has this relevance among the others, also at European level. So for us, this is a very important achievement in BioCat, and we want also to share that with all of you and just highlight that this program today is answers to this willingness to be really impactful in Europe. We have been acting at different levels. I'm not mentioning here the work packages, though every single one of those slides refer to one work package. One of the main tasks in PRECISEU, and I also wanted to share that with you because everything we do here today, sorry, is also going to be connected to the European institutions and to other major initiatives. Is connected to the annual every 6 months presidencies that the Commission, the Council of the EU has as a rotation period, and now it's Cyprus, and we just had the event in Cyprus a few days ago. We are also very much in contact with the European Commission and the European Parliament. We will have one person from the European Parliament today explaining a little bit how these trilogues discussions are going on. Also, we are members of the Stakeholder Forum of TEDAS 2 and TEDAS 1 before. As you know, this is a major initiative on health data. And also with EP-Permet, we have a special connection as well because the coordinator of EP-Permet, Mr. Wolfgang Ballensiefen, is also the chair of our advisory board. We will have somebody from the advisory board of PRECISEU also speaking today, Aneta Tiskevich from FPA, for example. So we are connected to major presidency events, to major personalized medicine initiatives across Europe. And let me mention also that Gemma Valletta is also a member of our advisory board, and she's here today. So we want to incentivize the policy dialogue at all levels, and we also issue country reports regarding the readiness on health data and also the state of personalized medicine of these different countries that we are analyzing connecting to the EU presidencies. Example, we are also mapping the readiness of on AHCS for the different regions and member states, part of the project, but also beyond. And for example, this is an image of the Cyprus presidency event on health data that one of our partners, Apostolos Dimitriadis, that is also going to speak today, was delivering on stage during this presidency, also with the stakeholder forum of TEDAS 2 that was also important in this event in Cyprus. So we are gathering all these reports for our regions. Everything is available in our website, PRECISEU.eu, and you can just reach the outcomes of the project at all levels in that site of PRECISEU. So we connect expert groups. We talk about everything that has to do with the readiness on EHDS to really support the advancement of the implementation of the European health data spaces across Europe. Another very important thing, I've been speaking of work packages 3 and 4 so far. This is work package 5. We have been mapping the advanced therapies situation across Europe. Not only we've been in major ATMP events, but we've also been working on multi-stakeholder ATMP infrastructure led by EATRIS. And we've been mapping like in a broad scale what happens on ATMPs in Europe. And we have been a grounds also cited by the Commission. And actually, I want to highlight that if you look at that, you don't see PRECISEU in the text of the call for the centers of excellence. It was with this misspelling with 2 E's, but is actually the project being mentioned in the centers of excellence call. So that is also something that for us was a great achievement. And also I want to mention that in work package 6, so it's another work package that we totally work to overcome the barriers from market to market and to patient, to accelerate access, to provide evidence base of these barriers and these enablers. Much of what is going to be discussed also, let me mention, on June the 4th on an event in the Parliament that we're going to celebrate with some of the partners here and also with relevant stakeholders in Brussels. We are discussing market access barriers. We've been very active in providing reports on that at regional and member state level, also available in our website. And it's very interesting to see how the different regions are identifying different barriers that it's a very much something that we need to discuss today. And also on the 13th of May on site, identifying at least for Catalonia in our edition, and in Spain as well, which are the barriers for the advancement of personalized medicine in our health systems. Very remarkable also our hackathon that also was a very, I mean, for us, a very interesting process because it helped emerge some new ideas to advance on personalized medicine. Another thing that we've been doing also in the project is this capacity building scheme in which we have several major initiatives. We, for one, launched the personalized medicine schools that now in preparation, Sophia's edition that is going to be held in June this year from the 6th to the 9th of June in Sofia and online. So all of you are invited to join, and some of you are also participating as speakers. But we've already had one edition in Iași and another in Gothenburg, Iași in Romania and Gothenburg in Sweden. And another remarkable event that we have also annually celebrating is a recognition for the best regional practice on personalized medicine. And we talk about impact, we talk about innovation, about excellence, and about culture to advance on the personalized medicine implementation. And this is something that we also call all of you to bring your ideas, your expertise, your initiatives to be recognized across Europe, because in a few weeks after Sofia, we will open the next year recognition event gathering initiatives. So please be aware of that, because we want to recognize best practices across Europe. We also are launching today the PRECISEU policy program. This is part of the capacity building. We understand that this is also meant to connect the different types of stakeholders that have a very major role on how personalized medicine is being implemented across Europe. And for us, this policy capacity is an output, not a side activity. So this is something very important for us to be celebrated. And not advancing on PRECISEU's activities, we are also making personalized medicine system ready with another major work package about reimbursement mostly and adoption. And I'm sure that Ramon Maspons later in a few minutes is going also to speak about this aspect that is essential in personalized medicine for the solutions to reach the market and the patients, which is the main goal. So we are reviewing some institutional policy related barriers that are going to be discussed here as well. So we are looking at reimbursement models, and Esther Arevalo, I think she's also connected today. She's leading that as well. And it's something that we really want this to be a major output, because this has been also one of the main barriers we've seen across all member states and regions on personalized medicine adoption. And last but not least, we are operationalizing the outputs into some cross-regional value chains, joint interregional projects. That means we are launching the Cascade funding call with funding from the Commission and also funding from the regions. And there's also some colleagues from the Department of Health, which is a major, a major partner in our project. But also Axio, another of our funding agencies. I saw early this in this call, Tony Ruiz, for example, is also there. So with Nuria Rado in our team, they are the main leaders of this part of the project. That is a very important aspect. 50% of the funds that the project has, the budget of the project is being addressed to fund these Cascade funding calls. We are in the middle of the period for the potential proposals to be submitted. This is going to be an innovation action like call. It is an innovation action like call, and all the proposals will be evaluated by competitive rules. Very much European Commission standards. And this is for the moment one call, many realities actually, and we are seeing how the diversity across regions is really paying a toll on how things can be moved further. So that's also why a program like today, we believe it's important, because we see from a regional perspective how this is going to be facilitated or accelerated if the dialogue between all types of stakeholders is in place. We have very different co-funding schemes, so we see how the objective of that is how to better align national and regional rules, and how to align EU level cascade funding with national and regional co-funding rules. This is a very complex and fragile scheme, and we are very much taking care of that. But let's see how complex this is, and how at the European level this is one of the major barriers of things to happen, the different interpretation and the different way to implement the same framework or the same ruling. Then we see other possibilities here on how to make visible the synergies with other funding mechanisms, and how to balance the alignment versus the overload or creating synergies. We need to not overwhelm innovators on the instruments, but this is something that is really complex as well. And we are also trying to translate everything that we've seen in the project in these 2 years already almost of project, and we have 3 more to go, how to translate the different outcomes into fundable topics. And this is what we really try to do with this call as well. And also in general, why we chose these 3 subjects that we are also opening today in this policy program. And we opened these subjects because we chose ATMPs, health data, and planetary health for the reasons that I'm showing here. For example, this is because all of them, and particularly ATMPs, are a priority for Europe, for the European Union. And we remember Draghi's report of a couple, 3 years now already, that has been like driving the main European Commission's policy initiatives, strategies, and legislative pieces that are being discussed on how to accelerate the deployment of this deep tech and how to overcome the fragmentation among the different regions and member states. And this inspired as well the Choose Europe for Life Sciences 2030 strategy from the European Commission, moving from strategy to delivery, example, ATMPs, but also clinical trials and health data. So seeing the health systems as innovation platforms, not just as an outcome for increasing the health of the population, but also as an innovation platform to create wealth and competitiveness from Europe to globally. And then that is why ATMPs and emerging therapies have also a regional strategic alignment for most of the regions that are part of this project, for sure. We also saw how complex this is, the digital transformation and the health data being used as a key system lever. That is why we used that as well, because the interpretation and the implementation at every regional level is different. In Catalonia, for example, we are quite advanced, and we have we are in the middle of the establishment of the secondary use of data access office in Catalonia, but there are other regions that are quite not at that level. So this is a very important as a translational understanding across regions. We also chose planetary health as a transversal framework because this is a mandate to make the health system sustainable and resilient. And for our health system, this is a priority as well. So we have policymakers of the health system here today also in the room, and on the 13th to connect to the innovators and other stakeholders to advance on that together. And also because it's a very much the focus of PRECISEU. We are identifying the major adoption bottlenecks of ATMPs. ATMP's regulatory framework is not the same, cannot be the same as the more traditional avenues for therapies in the biopharma industry. So that's why it needs to be very much looked at, and there will be like a vertical, an itinerary in this program for ATMPs. In the case of health data is because there's the need of enabling infrastructures for scale and learning systems, but also because we need to discuss subjects about how to interpret and how to implement GDPR, or how to open, how to include the patients in the discussion, or how to discuss the security and the privacy subjects, like in a very open and ethical subjects in a very open way. And we have today some speakers that are going to address that. And also planetary health, because this is something that it's quite, we are just jumping from sustainable healthcare systems, or how we have to address the health nuances of the climate change. So this, we are jumping from one interpretation to the other. This is quite like a very slippery area in which we need to really tackle some of the main subjects. But it is something really relevant for us as well. So there will be an itinerary on that as well. And also one of our partners, AstraZeneca, will be very much interested in leading that from the industry. So the idea is have, like in general, a flexible adaptive innovation policy that is not linear, it's not siloed between subjects. We will use the design thinking and policy prototyping, and we will not just bring static recommendations, but also something that can be flexible and open. Regions will be seen as living labs, not just passive recipients of the innovation policies. We have to be these living labs to really help also understand how to implement what comes from the Commission and the European Union and global as a trends and innovation indications. But also we have to bring back the outcome of how implementing this is more difficult in one than in the other. So this is something very important for us. And that's why we will have also some other policy program editions in Flanders, Sofia, and in Emilia-Romagna as members of the project. And finally, we want to accelerate adoption by changing how policy is made, not by repeating existing instruments. And that is very important. We have to see how policy can be interpreted and implemented. And just ending, like the program logic for us was that the team's composition needed to have different types of stakeholders, policymakers in health, decision-making organizations like procurers, payers, administration, people from the parliament, legislators, regulators, everybody that has a say in the implementation of these policies. We want to address 3 challenges with 3 teams, and they will be guided by mentors precisely on the 13th on site. But today there's people from BioCat in every room when there's a breakout room after lunch to discuss and to guide as well. We are having these 2 sessions, online and on site, with experts, facilitators. Like I said, Catalonia, Flanders, Emilia-Romagna, and Sofia, with the main partners involved. And these are the 3 lines that we are going to address. And what we want from the audience and our next steps is that today we have this plenary one with the kickoff and the policy framing. On the plenary 2, this is the design thinking track based with different level steps of the design thinking process. And we will have then, for some weeks, an offline teamwork. It means that it tends not to be a workload on you, but just keep the teams created for an asynchronous work per teams, in which you can agree on one document and just contribute at the level that you can do, because at the end of these 4 weeks we can have some paper that we will convert that into actionable policy, 1 per track, and we commit with the teams to scale it up to regional, member state, and EU institutions. That was our commitment and outcome of the program. Just very importantly, this program has been ideated by BioCat and with the support of the different partners in PRECISEU. This is something that we were inspired in very far away on a program from Stanford Muscle Biodesign Center, very far, and that's why we have Marta Arenas here. She's a former Stanford Biodesign Center fellow and also staff member, and she's still linked to that center, and that's why she's also leading our program as in the part of design thinking. And also, very importantly, BioCat has been implementing for years, 10 editions actually, the DHealth Barcelona Design Thinking program that now in this moment is led by Paula Olivella. She's also in the room, and Nuria Martí. Initially, Silvia Lave was very much involved in the team before in BioCat, but that program was inspired in design thinking, and we have quite an expertise there. So that's why we came with this idea, with discussions also with Stanford, that was a very new program for them, and we thought that we needed that also in PRECISEU and in the different regions member of it. So I think I'm going to stop here.